Welcome back to the Imaginary Gallery. Tonight is a consumer awareness lesson. I'm going to tell you a true story of a situation that happened that hopefully will help you avoid the same thing from happening to you. So let's just tell the story. Well, one particular day I was online shopping for various things, and I came across a various website that sold these like unique, one-of-a-kind pieces of merchandise that you just couldn't probably find anywhere else. So I was intrigued, and I thought, well, this is interesting. So I was going to be a buyer, so I went ahead and clicked on this and that and how to buy and whatever, and it said you must first create your own account. So what did I do? I created my first account, and it asked for a username and a password. Well, we can also bring in to this story, they don't take credit cards. They don't take that kind of thing. So when I looked at that, it said you must pay via PayPal, which I had a PayPal account, but I hadn't used it in years. So I figured, well, yeah, I got that. Okay. Well, I went to PayPal, and of course, I didn't remember the password. So it asked me to make a new one, which I did. And then at this point, I figured, you know what? I'm using PayPal and this other site that only takes PayPal, so I registered and I used the very same password, thinking I could remember them that way easier. Because we all know how it is in this day and age, especially if you work in a company with computers, plus you have your own phone and your own iPad. You've got 1,000 passwords everywhere unless you choose to consolidate them and make a smaller number, which is what I was attempting to do, which you'll find later is a mistake. But we're not there yet. So I registered on the site. I gave a username and I gave a password, which happened to be the very same password that I had put on the PayPal, because again, I wanted to think of them together, okay, I'm buying this with this service and on this site. So I did it, and I paid for whatever product it was. So everything's great. Well, maybe a month or two later, I was scanning through my emails, and I just happened to notice an email. And this particular email had said something on the order of, your purchase for PayPal of $355 has been processed, or something like that. And I saw that, and I thought, what? Because keep in mind, the thing I bought before was months prior. And here I'm seeing this PayPal notice thinking, what? And I figured it might be something I've experienced before in the olden days of computers, where you'd get things like that would say dear customer, this is to confirm that you've just paid $1,000 towards whatever. And I'd look at that crap and think, dear customer? Fake. But in this case, it had my name, it had, of course, my email, and it was saying that my purchase for $300 and whatever has been processed. And I thought, wait a second. I only used PayPal for that one thing. Well, let's keep in mind, the company that I was using with that website happened to be in California. And I checked up on the supposed order that I'd placed. California is a huge state. So just California is kind of a big stretch. But the point I'm making is I had not used PayPal for years. And then the one moment I use it, the store I'm buying from is in California. Well, when I got this email and determined it was not a phony because it had my name and so on, so I clicked and I picked out the order number. It turns out it was used to purchase an item on eBay, which I've shopped at before, long ago. And I clicked on this and clicked on that, and I saw it. I actually saw the order, and it was some kind of computer, iPad, some kind of thing. I don't even know, but the point of it was it showed like the buyer's name and address, and it had my name listed as the buyer, and then it had some crazy address I'd never even heard of. And I saw this and thought, you know what, this is real. And my brain with tin foil hat mentalities, and it thought, you know what, wait a second. I haven't used PayPal in years. I finally do for this site. I used the password that I used for PayPal, and I was started to feel like, you know what, I bet someone who works there who has access to their website probably saw, they're the administrator, so they could see my profile and then look in there to see what password I used. And I'm sure at this point I realized they probably think, yeah, people are so stupid, they use the same password for everything, so they probably tested it on the PayPal. And because I was retarded and did that, they got right in, because whoever it was, I'm just assuming it's the same company, because again, I have not used PayPal for years, so I just have to guess they're connected. So I contact PayPal and say, hey, I'd like to report that address in California is not mine, and there was a purchase made, and so on. And they were like, well, you need to contact your bank and tell them to stop payment on that payment, and da-da-da. And it's a good thing I looked at the email, because there have been times I ignore it for months. But that's beside the point, ADHD. So I called the bank and said, yeah, there's a charge coming through for $300 and whatever dollars. Could you stop that? And I told them the story, and she was like, we can stop that, but there'll be a $25 fee to stop payment. And I said, wait a second. This is an unauthorized charge. I did not buy whatever this crap is to have shipped to my name in some California place. So she's like, oh, in that case, it'll be free. So she did whatever she does, and it did not go through. But this is a lesson to all of you. If you have accounts, you've got to check them. Even just to make sure nobody does this crap, because they do. And the reason this is all being brought up is because the person who did this to steal my information and make a purchase and have it shipped, presumably to their own address, is cluster B, psychopathic, non-empathied, monsterish. So that's how it ties in here, but still. But the lesson here is, if you do business with such companies online, I would recommend creating a specific password just for their site, and do not mirror any of your other passwords, because if you do, you set yourself up for this kind of stuff. And on the other hand, I did not contact that company and say anything like, how dare you steal my password, because you know what? The way this stuff works is you will sound like a paranoid, crazy, whatever that is, person making false accusations. And I think, you know what, forget it, because it was all based on circumstantial evidence. So I was not going to do that because that is exactly what evil cluster B monsters want. Because let's just say the lady that answers the phone was the one who did it all, she would be like, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, we're a very good company. And it's just basically one person's word against another's. So you've got to protect yourself in the future and don't give them the opportunity to do what whomever did to me, to you. Peace!
Hey, honey, I love this song. Come dance with me. Hey, hey, it's me. It's me. Hey, where you going? You don't want to dance with me? Ah,
I am the Nuzzlepuss. Now I'm at one with the elite, and I've been cloned. I have an RFID chip in me, and I was told it will bring me spiritual enlightenment, so I'll always be happy.
oh, but don't you doubt it. I'll be watching you. You better watch your back.
Sorry. I know I gave y'all a heads up about my new lifestyle change, and I am still a proud transgendered lesbian. However, TJ is unconscious, and I know he's probably going to get out of the restraints I put on him, which means I've got to get out of here.
In case TJ didn't inform you all, he was keeping me as a prisoner in this house for the longest time. And I'm sure he never mentioned that because he thinks he is just so perfect. Well, I am here to set the record straight, and by the time he gets back, this message and this download will be erased from his computer. So, feel privileged if you see it.
Hi, I'm Lola Lust. I'm here with Lust in the Dust Escort, and I've got the answer to all of your needs. Whether it's he, a male, or a she, male, or a group setting, I've got clones of myself. Imagine having 10 of me at one time. It can be arranged. Just call the number right there on the screen. Don't forget, area code 666.